Hi, welcome back to another episode of Feece School. Today, we're going to be looking at Hi, welcome back to another episode of Feece School. Today, we're going to be looking at if you have what it takes to Hi, welcome back to another episode of Feece School. Today, we're going to be looking at if you have what it takes. Welcome back to another episode of Feece School. Today, we're going to be looking at do you have it? Tongue twister. Hi, welcome back to another episode of Feece School. Today, we're going to be looking at do you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? Enjoy. Welcome back to another episode of Luke Talks, bros. Okay, so today in Luke Talks, we're going to be talking about what I just said. Do you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur? Everyone has what it takes in their own way. Everyone can be an entrepreneur. If you want to play sports and be a soccer player, for instance, I'm just making this up. You got to sell yourself entrepreneurially, and the more entrepreneurial you are, the more you're able to attract positive people around you to create a community in what you want to do. Even if you're just starting a club socially in your community, like a book club or a cooking club, or even just in your everyday work, the more entrepreneurial you are, the more you're able to create wealth, not just financially, but emotionally and physically for yourself. So, the first thing, do you have what it takes? Everyone has what it takes in their own way. I love filmmaking. I love making YouTube videos. I love having my friends help me make YouTube videos. And that's my entrepreneurial endeavor. Maybe you want to make a bakery. Do that as your entrepreneurial endeavor. But the first thing that you need to have as an entrepreneur is you're going to have to be able to deal with rejection. Now, dealing with rejection, you're going to deal with so much rejection. If you want to even get into a college, you're going to deal with a lot of rejection letters. If you want to find a job, you're gonna get a lot of no, we aren't hiring right nows, and you're gonna have to put out a lot of resumes and deal with a lot of rejection. But the two things you have to keep in mind is persistence. Now, I love it when people say, "Hey, I have an idea. I want to start a play, or a movie or whatever," and they come to me and saying like, "Hey, you want to help with a movie?" or "Hey," and then after a week of trying, they give up because no one wants to help out. When I was in high school, that happened, and after a week of trying, like putting out my word, no one wanted to really help. But you got to keep putting it out there, because maybe after people seeing you being persistent after a long time, they'll be like, "Oh, this kid actually really does want to make a vision," and then maybe they'll come back, or maybe they'll continue helping. You know, it took 2 attempts to make $1 per day. Philip and I was originally going to be Caleb, the character Dylan Fott played, but that whole first draft failed and we had to redo the whole thing, and I was just a director at that point. And basically, I had to convince Philip to come back with me to do $1 per day again. But you're going to have to stay on track. No matter what happens, stay on track and don't let loose of what you're trying to do. Stay persistent, even if you deal with rejection. And the next thing is, which kind of links to dealing with rejection is the only way to fail is to give up. So if you want to stay on track, the only way to fail is to give up. So, yes, you may have ran out of business as a company. Yes, you may have lost your scholarship. But there came a point in your life when you mentally thought, "I don't have what it takes," or "this is enough," or "enough is enough, I'm just going to give up." The only way to fail is to give up. If you're the kind of person who looks at a puzzle and sees the puzzle and just sees all the pieces out of place, like on a table, and you just can't get off the puzzle until it's finished, you might be the kind of person to not give up till it's done. And the only way to fail is to give up. At one point you thought, okay, my investment into this puzzle is not as good as what I'll get in return, so you just give up. But you don't know that. Maybe you'll get something even more in return. So you got to keep persevering and build a don't quit mindset. You just drill in your mind not to quit, because the more you have a belief of what you want to do, the more you have a better chance of not having that have you mentally think, okay, this is enough. Also, you're going to want to minimize ego. This is number 3, minimize ego. Because ego can distract you. Let's say you're a sales guy and you're doing okay, but all of a sudden you get a $500,000 check and you get all ego-y and you spend half of it on a new house and then a car, and you're like, yeah, I'm cool. And then once you spend it on the house and the car, and all you have left is like $100,000. You're just where you were at before, and you're just like, oh, I should have been so ego-y. Or I don't know, having ego can distract you, and then you do things out of your ego that can lead to things that can actually destruct you. So try to minimize ego and always think, okay, I have this, but how can I expand on it instead of just despanding on my ego? Because having ego can destruct you. So think of always wanting more as a way to distract yourself from your ego. And number 4, do it more for than just the money. I mean, money is important, and don't get me wrong. I work at Subway to make money, to pay rent. But I don't make any money off of my damn YouTube videos, but I still make them because I love making YouTube videos. One day I want to make freaking AdSense, but you know what? I love making YouTube videos, and I'm just going to keep posting for you guys, keep posting for myself, because I love the art of just creating things. So you got to do it for more than just the money, because if you just do it, have an incentive to make money, you'll give up, trust me. But a great way to think, okay, instead of wanting money, I want to contribute something. Because if you think, okay, I just don't want to do it for the money, I want to do it because I love it, you're going to want to do it for something besides you just love it. You're going to want to do it for contribution. Number 5, you must be competitive. And you're always going to have to be competitive. If you start a pizza store and you're the only pizza store in town, eventually there's going to be more pizza stores in town. You're going to have to find ways to make your own ideas. You're going to have to compete with other people who may be trying to copy you, or think of ways to not do a Me Too product like Apple and IBM. Wait, that's not really a good example. Clothing companies or soda companies. Me Too is bad. You're just going to want to think like, how can I make the best product for myself in a unique way? How can I create the best service for myself in a unique way? How can I serve people in a unique way? And don't try to copy people. That ain't good. That ain't good, bruh. You don't want to copy people. The more you think of creative ways to make your own product or service for your entrepreneurial endeavors, the more you have a better chance of appealing to people. Number 6. Focus on your strengths. When we're in school, we're taught, okay, you're really good at English, but you suck at math. So we're going to work on your math skills. But in real life, well, yeah, math's important, I guess, if you want to make sure you're getting the right amount of change back at a sandwich store. But in reality, it's good to have concern for what you're bad at. But also, I think it's good to put a little more energy into what you're good at. So if you expand on what you're good at, it'll just keep growing, and then you can have a skill set in that what you're good at. And the bigger your skill set you have in a niche spot, especially if it's a needed spot, like let's say accounting or whatever, the more you're needed and the more you can sell your product or service. Because the reason a janitor doesn't make 15, 12, 8 an hour depending on what state you're in And the reason a rocket scientist makes way more is because of skill set. So if you have a good skill set and continue to focus more on what you're good at, you can build a skill set for yourself. Okay, those are the 6 reasons why, to see if you have what it takes to be an entrepreneur. Thanks for watching this episode of Feece School. I was supposed to post this Monday, but there was no internet, so I'm just posting it now on the now date. Bye. Welcome back to another episode of Luke Talks, bros.